Hello, hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm gonna make some salsa using chiles de arbol. I know, I said that the best I could, okay? My Spanish accent is not the best, but it's also not the worst. It's a red salsa, it's gonna be delicious. I do have a house guest coming tonight. We're taking an impromptu road trip tomorrow. So now I'm gonna prepare some things for us to eat. Using all the yummy ingredients that I have, but I do need to get some other stuff. Because of course, we have house guests that are vegetarian, allergies, all that fun stuff. And as you know, in my house, we can't eat certain things right now. So salsa is for everybody. So that's what I'm gonna make to make some, probably like soy rizo or something like that. So I'll see you then, and I'm gonna make it with you guys. Alrighty, it's time to make some salsa. Alright, so here are the basic ingredients that I'm gonna use. Red tomatoes, tomatillos, green tomatoes, cilantro, jalapeño, the dried chiles de arbol, I know, onion, and spices, salt, pepper, cumin, maybe oregano, I haven't decided. So I'll put all the ingredients in the comments. Oh, and garlic, by the way. You never forget garlic. But I'm gonna kind of just play it by ear and see how it goes. I have water. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't be leaning back on that. I have water boiling right here because I'm gonna boil most of my ingredients so that they get the flavor out, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with, I've made this before and it didn't come out wonderful. And there was something about the flavor that I just couldn't quite grasp. So my coworker was like, well, why don't you put both red and green tomatoes? So I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Because I love the taste of tomatillos, but I didn't put them in last time, and I'm like, that's what it is. That's gonna bring out a different flavor, and I think that that's gonna make this a lot better. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna put 3 tomatillos and then 2 red tomatoes. Unfortunately, when you use fresh tomatoes, it tends to not be as flavorful instead of canned tomatoes, and it kind of sucks because you're like, oh, well, fresh tomatoes should be better, but in fact, they are not always very flavorful. So you do what you gotta do. Like when I make spaghetti sauce, I don't think I would ever use fresh tomatoes. I feel like that would just kill the flavor altogether, and it would just taste like a watered down tomato. Okay, so I have a bunch of an actual bunch of cilantro. So I'm just gonna kind of cut off like the leaves and use that. I'm gonna start putting everything in my blenders because eventually I'm gonna blend it all. I'm gonna put on an apron. I literally never wear aprons, but it's because I move around the kitchen and wipe my hands and stuff. I'm trying to be on camera here, so people are trying to see me. Okay, so I'm gonna start with probably about that much. We'll see. Shove it in here. So the thing with this blender is, I've had this blender, gosh, forever. Honestly, I think someone gave it to me like when I was in college, so that was like 10 years ago. And when I got married, everyone's like, you need to register for like, what are those called? The Ninja, or what's that? Vitamix. And I'm like, that is like a $500 blender. Like, I do not need that. I was pretty like set on like, in my house, if I don't need something, I'm not just gonna like register for it. Because I have a blender. I mean, like, I'm sure that one's like a lot better. But I don't know, I just feel like, why do I need to upgrade when I don't need to upgrade yet? So when that one breaks, I'm sure I'll get like a nice new one. But in the meantime, I don't really care. It works. It makes lots of soups. It's big enough for 2. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna take out the seeds of the jalapeno. I think I'm only gonna use half a jalapeno because I'm gonna put the other chilies. And the problem, I love spicy food. But the problem when I made this last time was it was so ridiculously spicy. And I don't know if I took out the seeds of the red chilies. So make sure I do that this time. But we shall see. So I'm also gonna boil this as well. So I'm gonna throw it in the pot. Okay, so let's see. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go with like 8. And I'm gonna take out the seeds. So, I probably shouldn't touch my face because I'm sure I'm going to regret that. But I think you can just kind of like pour them out, hopefully. Yeah, that's easy. I feel like they should, I'm sure they do, sell some that are like deseeded or cut and all this crap. Probably in a can. But I think that was like the issue. So, you know, I think I'm going to cut them. Yeah, because I don't want those all in my business. Like, I do love spicy food. You can always add more spice, but you cannot take it away. Learned that lesson way too many times. And a lot of times, like I said before, like I'll make food and bring it to my grandma, and she'll eat anything I make, but you know, she's old, so spicy food is hard for her. So gotta cut back a little bit. Also, we literally put like hot sauce and something really hot and spicy in every food, on everything, and I'm pretty sure that's not good for our bodies. As I'm getting older, getting more heartburn and all these horrible sad things, and I'm like, what's gonna happen when I'm like actually old, like in my like 80s, 90s, you know? Oh well, salsa it is. Next I'm going to use, I know it's in a pickle jar. I ran out of mason jars because like I said, I give them away and stuff. So sometimes I just use jars of things I buy. Wash them, they're good as new. And then when they get gross, you can throw those away. So I'm going to use, I think about a half of an onion. So I have a little bit left here. I'm going to cut off the ends. And then I have a fresh one right here. I'm going to cut, side note, the seeds from the what are they called, the peppers, gotta be really careful with those because your hands might like burn for a long time after if you don't continuously wash them, and obviously don't touch your face. I think it was my sister-in-law that told me she was making like jalapeno poppers, and like I don't think she cooks like that, or she hadn't made that before or something. And she's like, oh my god, my hands were like burning, and I couldn't figure it out why, because she didn't like put two and two together. I just thought it was kind of funny, but also kind of sad. You don't want to burn yourself. Okay, so I have the cilantro in here. I'm gonna put about half an onion in here. Sometimes I like over onion my food as well. To be honest, I think I'm actually gonna take that out, some of it, because I like it a little chunkier. And then I put it in like at the end. So that wasn't smart, but whatever. That's how I cook. Okay. And then while this is still boiling, I'm gonna wait till like, it's almost done. The tomatoes kind of pop open. I put the garlic in there also. I'm gonna put about a quarter of a teaspoon of cumin, just salt and pepper it, and then I'm gonna put some of this chicken bouillon. Okay. Quarter of a teaspoon of anything just doesn't seem like it's even worth my time. But, you know, whatever. It'll add a flavor. Okay, and then I'm going to also add lime juice. I have a half a lime left. Again, I'm not going to cut a whole lime, special for you guys. I'm going to use what I have. So I have this cool little gadget. Maybe lots of people have it. I don't know. But I used to have a client that worked for Pampered Chef. And she was like trying to sell stuff, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh yeah, I cook like a ton, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I got this cool thing, and I got like a bunch of really neat baking stuff. It was like way overpriced, but I think she gave me like a discount. I don't remember, it was so long ago, but it was awesome. So this cool thing is awesome because then you can juice your limes. And you could also do it wrong, which is what I just did because I wasn't paying attention. I put the lime in upside down. I was like, why is it squirting everywhere? But anyways, squirt like that. So it's good actually for making drinks and stuff, because you just kind of like make your lime and your lemon and all the fun stuff. So everything is done in my pot over here. I put the cumin in. I put a teeny bit of onion. I put cilantro. I still need to put this in, salt and pepper. Okay, and I'm already destroying the kitchen. It was perfectly clean here, and now it's not. So that's great. You know what? I'm gonna just kind of salt it like this, and then salt it at the end too. Pepper. I always say with spices, the more the merrier. I'll go ahead and put in a teaspoon of this. Just because. Not following a recipe, just because I want to. When people ask me, like I always tell my friend, she doesn't like cook as much as I do, but she does make a lot of meals, whatever. So I'm like, oh my God, you know, we're always trying to cook healthy, whatever. So I'm like, oh, I made this really yummy thing. It was healthy and you should make it. It was super easy, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, okay, how do you do it? So I'll send her a text of like 10 ingredients. And she's like, well, what do I do with that? I'm like, I don't know, just put them together. I don't really like always cook with recipes. I'm just like, put it in there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I mean, for me, like I just like to cook with what I like to eat and how I like things to taste. So yes, I do follow like a lot of recipes, but things that I just kind of like create, I just kind of throw it together and play with it over time. Some of the best things I make that are requested for like parties and things like that, I just kind of invented. And unfortunately, I wish I could always remember that. I wish I would write them down or like kind of an idea. Sometimes I do. Maybe I'll start doing that. But yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put all of these tomato things in my blender. So they're pretty much good to go. So they're hot. That's the thing too about making fresh salsa. It's hot right when it's done, and so like it's hard to like taste it. Not because it's too hot, but just because I mean I don't really eat like hot salsa. I'll eat like room temperature or cold salsa with my food. So I can't really decide if I like the taste or not yet. Okay, so I'm just trying to get all these little chiles out of here and blend them up. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the water and put it in the blender as well. And I also have extra lime juice just in case. And we'll see how it comes out. There's something weird on my tongs here. That, and then whatever this is needs to come off. So I'm going to get a cup. I was wondering where all my things are. So I'm just going to use a couple of these. This is a third cup. My other one is dirty, so I'm just going to put 3 of them because it'll be about a cup of water. I like chunky salsa, but I also like it to be like watery / thin. I can put a little more. Sometimes like after I make fresh salsa, I put it in the fridge and then it just gets so hard or coagulated, I guess is what you would call it. And then it's just like hard to eat, and then we never want to like scoop it out of the jar or whatever. So don't like that. Okay, let's see how it comes out. I think that's everything. And yes, I realize that's maybe why I need like a better blender, because this is kind of old school. Like you totally have to hold the top or else it'll explode. I make this really good carrot jalapeno soup, and I don't know, I just thought I was like cool one day, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna like leave it, and I walked away, and like 4 seconds later it just like psh, and I had like soup all over the countertops and the cabinets and stuff. It was great. So it's pretty blended. It smells very cilantro-y. It's pretty blended, so now I'm going to add in the onion because that will give it a whole different flavor. And then see what else we need to add. It smells very cilantro-y. See? And the thing is too, if it's too anything, I can always add more tomatoes or whatever. So I'm going to get a little, I'll just use these guys since I'm going to wash them anyways. Stir it up. Oh, that's pretty good. It's a little limey. It's a little tomatillo. It is definitely spicy enough. Add a little more pepper. Maybe a little oregano. And pretty good. these spices are just a waste of my time. I only seriously like to get Costco sized spices because I use so much of them. I just want them to pour out. Okay, try it again. I know I've contaminated it, but I don't care. It's my house. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more cumin. I think it's good on the salt actually. And then I wanna, no, it's good. It looks good. I like this color salsa, which means it's a good blend of the red and green tomatoes. Okay. So here is the finished product. I'll take it off so you can see it. It's hot right now. Well, it's not too hot, but it's hot. So it's gonna have a little bit of different flavor once it sets. The one thing, I think there's just slightly too much lime, but you can't really take it out. So I put more chilies in it, a little bit more cumin, and a little bit more oregano, and it's actually really good. It is spicy, but it's not too spicy, so it's gonna be really good. I'm gonna make chicken tacos or like chicken tostadas later. So I have the meat shredded, and then I'm just gonna kind of soak it in it, and then we'll have some salsa for the week. I'm gonna be out of town a little bit, so hopefully we'll be able to eat it up before it goes bad, but there it is, and it's really delicious. So now the best part is I get to show you the aftermath of the kitchen, which actually isn't too bad for this job. I gotta say, I've made worse kitchen messes. And here is the ill-cooked mess. It's actually really not that bad. I have definitely done worse to the kitchen. All I have to do is pretty much clean up the cutting board and put everything away. So we're good. And I didn't even mess up the stove or anything. That's pretty impressive. Thanks for coming back to my kitchen. I hope you enjoy the salsa if you make it. Again, I'm gonna just put all the ingredients down below, but to be honest, you know, kind of play it by ear, decide what tastes you like. And I hope you come back and see me soon when we make something else delicious together. Thank you. Real cooks love you.